Hi, welcome to episode 59 of the PassioKnit Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as Schnüffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram. There is a Ravelry group for this podcast. It's called the PassioKnit Spinner podcast group. And there's a blog where I just put up the video and links to where you can find me. There's also a shop that I have that you can find at Etsy. And, it's etsy.com/Schnüffeltier. So I just have the same name all over. So thank you so much for joining me today. I think that's going to be a very short episode because I don't have a lot to show. So yeah, I'll just jump into it. I am wearing hand-knit socks, of course, but I also am wearing this new sheepy t-shirt that I got that a friend of mine brought me back from her vacation in Croatia. So isn't it cute? I really like it. I think it's very nice. And over here is my screen, so I'm glancing there all the time. Okay, now, knitting in the past. I finished 2 things and they're both quite big. Now, for the completely finished thing, it's the star pillow. I made this out of 1 skein of opal sock yarn. It's the Christmas gift for my son. I really like it. I totally stuffed it very wonky and not very full because I didn't want this to be poofy. I wanted it to still be, like a star shape and not a starfish shape. I don't know. I just didn't want it to be super poofy. So yeah. This is, like I said, 1 skein of opal sock yarn. I used a skein from the Opal Abo, which is a club. I don't have a ball band, but I couldn't tell you what it is anyways. I knit. That's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's called Sternkissen. It's from a German. And I'm actually not sure if there's an English version, but I think there is. So you basically knit a pentagon, you knit a second pentagon, and then you join the stitches to knit the points. And as you can see, my points are all quite the same, which is not really planned, actually. I knit one of the points and finished it. Then I just immediately joined yarn, knit the second point, and noticed that they are actually almost exactly the same. So I made the third point, and the stripe sequence started to shift a little bit to the top. So for the last 2 points, I did wind off about 2 meters of yarn before starting the last point. So they are all exactly the same. And this is really big. I mean, as you can see, it's big. It's really big. And I do have yarn left over. This much. I did not weigh it, but I think it's between 10 and 15 grams, which is awesome because it means you can knit this whole thing out of 1 skein and still have leftovers for a skein of yarn, and to do mini skeins for swaps or use in a blanket. Or it might actually could be enough for a pair of tiny newborn socks. So you could do, matching set of a very soft superwash merino wool, maybe. But yeah, it is done. It's my son's Christmas gift for this year. I used a 2.75 millimeter needle, which is a US 2, and followed the pattern exactly. Didn't do anything else than what was written down. The only problem I had, and that's a total me problem, I did use the Knit Pro Royal needles that I ordered and used for a pair of socks before. And when I knit, okay, there should be a 5th one. Here it is. So when I knit my socks, I told you that my gauge was very loose on these. So these are the needles. They are wooden needles with metal points. So when I use these now for this pillow, I subconsciously must have, knit very tight because after knitting one of those points each night, my finger just had a line going through and it really hurts. So yeah, I have to take care when knitting with these. That's a bit weird, but I really like it. I think it would be a nice gift for newborn babies, I think. Because if you don't use opal sock yarn, which is very sturdy, so it's not super soft. If you use some baby wool maybe, or just a very nice superwash merino yarn, that would be an awesome gift, because it's something they can have basically forever. The stuffing I used for this is actually a pillow from IKEA that I cut open and used the stuffing from that pillow to stuff this star, because it's the cheapest stuffing you can get here. So I did that, and this thing is totally washable, so it's perfect for a kid, and I really like it. I'm thinking about making one for myself out of different yarn. So the other thing that's technically finished is my iDays cardigan. I'm sorry, let's turn that off. I finished my iDays cardigan, but I have not woven in the ends. I did seam it together last night, and it looks like this. So this is the back, and that's the front. You can't really see anything. I'm going to show it to you next week when it's completely done, you know, all the ends woven in. I'm gonna wear it and you can see how it fits. The only thing that I knew beforehand is that sleeves are very tight. I can get my arms in, but if I gain weight, I'm not able to put my arms in this jacket, which is a pity, because the jacket itself, the pattern is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's by Cerelia Rose, and it is knit out of Barocco Vintage. I knit mine out of Barocco Vintage Chunky. I'm gonna show the ball band. The pattern is written for a bunch of different sizes, but the sleeves are one size, which in itself doesn't really make sense to me, because a person who's a 32 does not have the same arms as a person who's a 44. That just, it doesn't make sense to me. But I did a bit of calculating and I decided to just go with it, and they're fine, they fit, but they are very tight. So this is the yarn that I used, Barocco Vintage Chunky. I ordered this from Web's online shop, because of course you cannot get this here in Germany, and I really enjoyed it. I have 2.5 skeins left, and my chair is very squeaky. I've got 2.5 skeins of this left, and I'm going to do a jacket for my son, because I think that's a great color for a little boy. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. And everyone who's following me on Instagram, I posted a very, very awful picture last night, a mirror selfie from the back. I mean, it's the worst possible way of taking a picture of a finished sweater, but I got so many lovely comments, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. It does mean a lot if someone who knows it means a lot when someone who knows what's going into this, you know, from someone else who knits. When someone who just knows tells you that you did a good job, that's important. And oh, I froze and I'm looking like an idiot. But it's just, I'm getting used to it somehow, to this whole freezing thing. I hope it will unfreeze anytime now, because yeah, okay. So, finished sweater. I'll show it again to you next week when it's finished, you know, completely finished. But I can already tell you it's going to be worn a lot, because I love this. It's really nice. So, over here. That's it for the knitting in the past. For knitting in the present, I only have one thing that's currently on the needles, and that is the Sille hat. The pattern is by Suvi Simola. I think she's a Finnish knitwear designer. This is the hat. I'm knitting it out of a skein of Stimpy Lab DK. I do not have a ball band. I have no idea where it went. But this is the yarn. I think the name was Podcasting Hero or something similar. And it's on a 16-inch cable. No, it's a 12-inch. It's It's a 12-inch needle, so it's very bunched up. But this how far I've gotten. I did the ribbing and I knit the first few rows of the leaf motif that you can't really see yet. I think this is going to be really nice. It's going to be a Christmas gift. I finally realized that Christmas really is just around the corner. I mean, it's November 24th, so I have exactly 1 month to finish all the things. And this is one of those things, and I'm not going to cast on anything for myself until all the Christmas knitting is done. And I still have to do a little bit of Christmas knitting. Just a bit. 2 pairs of socks and 2 pairs of arm warmers, I think. And then I have some Christmas sewing to get to. A lot of Christmas sewing, actually. So yes, this hat pattern is also a free pattern on Ravelry. So I'm all about the free patterns today, which is good because, you know, not everyone has extra cash to spend on the pattern before even starting a project. So free patterns are a good thing. Okay, that's it for knitting in the present. Knitting in the future, I just told you, I have to get my butt in gear and get all the Christmas knitting done. So there's no spinning. Oh, there's also no show notes. That's why I look up in the air to try and think of what I have to tell you. There is no spinning. There is no new stuff. There is no Indie of the Week. Oh, I'm lying. There is new stuff. I'm gonna get it. It's right over there. I have to get it because it's beautiful, and my room is a mess, so you will just have to deal with that for a second. See, that's what I get when I don't write show notes. I forget all about everything. So I did get my second installment of the Stranded Dyeworks Sock Blank Yarn Club, or Sock Blank Club. And it's very crinkly. And it looks like this. I'm not going to unroll it. It's beautiful colors. This is very much my colors. And where's her card? Her yarn is just beautiful. I love everything in her shop, and I could constantly buy stuff, but I have so much stuff, so I shouldn't. But yeah, this is Stranded Dyeworks. She's based in the UK. She also has a podcast, and yeah, I love her sock blanks. They're really nice, beautiful. Just look at this. It's gorgeous. That's my new stuff. Now, no Indie of the Week because I got stuff from her. So next thing in my list should be reading, listening, watching, I think. Still no reading. Nothing. What I did, however, is I ordered a new e-reader. I do have a Kindle, and I like my Kindle, but I have the very basic one that allows you to read when it's light, you know. But my son sometimes doesn't sleep too well, so you have to stay in the room with him. And if there's light on, he is not going to sleep at all. So I'm basically just sitting there and playing on my phone all day. And I thought if I got an e-reader with a, you know, self-light up display, I would be able to read instead. So I did order a Tolino Shine. It's a non-Kindle. Of course, it's a non-Amazon product because our library here offers the an ebook library, but it's not compatible with Kindles because, you know, Kindle only works with Amazon stuff. So I ordered a different one. I hope it will be here very soon so I can use that for my reading in the dark. So that's it for reading. I haven't listened to anything except for music because I love music. I'm listening to music all the time. And I did watch, what did I watch? Teen Wolf, of course. It's my absolute guilty pleasure. And I've watched Supernatural. When I'm down here sewing, I watch Supernatural because I like to. And I have it on DVD, which makes it easy for me to watch here. I finished season 2, started season 3. Okay, now, sewing. I did a lot of sewing. I did sew a bubble for the bubble swap. I'm not sure if I talked about it before, if I had it done last week, but I finished one. I also got one and I wanted to show it to you. I keep all the bubbles that I get with the postcard that came with it in a plastic bag, so I know later what's what. So this bubble came all the way from Australia and it's gorgeous. My background color that I asked for is yellow, and that's just my next beautiful orange bubble. I've told you before, I really enjoy this quilting bee thing, but I'm still so far behind that it's just, I don't know. I'm not made for this, I think. I'm, of course, going to finish this round, but I don't think I will enter in anything like that on such a big scale anytime soon, because it's just so much commitment, and I never thought about everything that's involved, you know. So having to make one of these each month, and it takes about 4 hours to sew one of these things. So yeah, should have thought about this before, but I didn't. So I now have to find the time to get my bubbles done because I am way behind. Good. So now the sewing that I actually did and that I can show you. I am working on a shop update on a big one. Well, I have cut and sewn the outsides of my Christmas bags. I have ordered one Christmas fabric. I'm going to have four of the large bags, 4 mediums, and 2 small ones. There will also be 8 needle cozies, which I'm not going to show you what they look like. That's the inside fabric. Like I said, 8 of these. I also made 8 other needle cozies that I just didn't turn so far, but they have this tape measure fabric. I have 4 in the black and white, and I have 4 in this mint yellow black and white. And the measurements on the measuring tape fabric are correct. I did measure them. The inches and the centimeters, they are all correct. So you can use your needle cozy to measure your sock. So yeah, I made 16 needle cozies, and I did finish the outsides of the Christmas bags. I also finished the outsides for a long overdue Batman bag that should have been in the mail months ago. And that will be the first thing to finish. And yeah, so project bags are in the works, and I hope to get them done this weekend so I can do a shop update on Monday. So I have the Christmas bags in the shop before December 1st. That's the plan. And for non-shop related sewing, I'm still, again, I forget how far I came with the baby clothes I made. I did finish the dungarees for my son, and thank you, Heidi, for telling me that the handles are actually called shoulder straps. Could have thought about that myself because it's like with a bra strap, just not on a bra. But yeah, my brain didn't work, so thanks. And I did finish the 3 sweaters that I had started that just needed to have the twin needle work done. So these are all done. And then I got other stuff out of my ready to sew pile, because I did, a few weeks ago, I had a cutting party and I cut out all the things that I need to sew now. So as I don't have time for selfish sewing, which I would love to, because I so many things I want to make. But I did make, or I started sewing boxer shorts for my husband. A long time ago, I showed you one pair that I made for him, I think for Valentine's Day. And it's in the wash all the time. He loves it. And I asked him if he wanted more, and he said, yeah. And I asked him if he cared about the fabric, and he said no. So I just started it. They're not done. They still need the upper and lower ends finished off and the elastic put in. So that's the first one. And yeah, I know he's an adult, but I love these. So that's the front and the back. I'm just going to show these real quick because I'm not going to show them again when they're completely finished. So that's the second one. Then the third one. And this pattern, if you want to sew boxer shorts for your husband, this pattern is amazing. It's a German pattern. It's called Valentino. And I think it's from Elsterglück. There are a lot of German indie pattern makers, let me tell you. If you go on Davanda and search for sewing ebook, you get flooded with stuff. And that's actually my favorite. It has the 3 little knights at the front and the castle at the back. That makes me happy. So yeah, these are for my husband, not for my son. And like I said, he loves to wear all the things I make for him and he doesn't care what they look like. So yeah, they need to just be finished off, and they will actually also be a Christmas gift because I know it's underwear, but I spend a lot of time making this. So it's a gift. It's a gift. It just is. So that's it also for sewing. There's no cross stitch because I haven't had cross stitch since the beginning of the year, I think. And I still have no intention whatsoever to cross stitch. So for everything else, I don't have anything today. My brain doesn't work that way today. I'm just not, yeah. I'm happy to have found the 25 minutes to podcast, and I will not podcast next week because I'm alone with the kid again and I need to get so much sewing done before my husband has to leave. So yeah, it's not happening. I will talk to you again in the first week of December, the first full week of December, I hope. I hope to have my shop update before that. There's some handspun going up. There's the cowl that I showed last week. I've decided to put it in the shop. There's socks and the Christmas bags and a bunch of needle cozies and yeah, and some non-Christmas project bags that I have done and photographed but just have to put up. So I hope to get all of this done by Sunday evening so I can have the picture party on Monday and put everything up, but I will announce it in my podcast group and on Instagram. So if you want to be notified when the shop update is going to happen, just make sure to follow me on Instagram and I will let you know there. So I think that's it for this week. I'm sorry for this very discombobulated episode, but it was either this or nothing at all. So I opted for weird. And yeah, now I'm done. I stopped talking. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Enjoy everything you do. I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.